Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Comm-UNITY, a podcast by CivSource Africa. CivSource Africa is absolutely passionate about telling stories of African giving, generosity, and philanthropy. Season 12 of our podcast highlights stories of generous movers. By generous movers, we mean people that are using the gift of mobility for good causes. This can be hiking, running, walking, swimming, cycling, dancing, playing, whatever it is, as long as somebody is using their body for a good cause. Those are the stories we're telling this season. And with me today, I have a guest, and we're shaking our shoulders, running through the crowd. Drum roll, please. The one, the only, Stella.
Yeah.
So Stella, tell us a bit about yourself, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jackie. It's a pleasure to be here. When you're introducing this show, you're saying CivSource, it's passionate. And these episodes are about generosity, people, movers. I'm privileged.
Yes, to be a generous mover.
To be part of people that you call generous movers. I'm Stella Kamakune. I like calling myself God's favorite daughter.
Hey, Mama.
Because of the
Did he ever tell you?
Because of the great things that he has provided with me. He has been generous. So I'm a daughter of... my family, my mom, we are two actually. We were three, but my brother passed on. Then, so we are two. And then from my dad, I'm the last born. I actually grew up in a very huge family, extended family. My grandmother, because my dad passed on way back when I was still a little person. So I generally grew up with a single mother. But I'm thankful to everything that I am.
Okay.
Yes.
And Stella, can you, if you go back in time to when you were young, can you remember your first experience of generosity? Either when you were generous to someone or when you experienced generosity yourself?
Well, I've received quite many, but there is this one that I remember because when you're young, you usually don't understand so many things. But one of the things that I remember when I was young, when I was in primary 6, someone who likes music.
Yeah.
So we had a speak day at my school, and apparently I was the best. And then the guest of honor decided to pay for me school fees for 2 terms. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so that is one thing. Is one of the generous things that I remember. But I've received quite a number of money.
Yes. And you two are a giver, and we're going to get to that story.
Yes.
So thinking back then, So you sang, you danced. What did you do to win the prize?
So we were competing. You know those colors in schools. So
what color were you?
Green.
Oh man, I was yellow. Habanaba yellow. Vatambula yellow.
But green was all the way.
No, please, yellow is the color. Yes, yellow is the best color I've ever seen. You see, we had all the good songs. Anyhow,
I see. So I was in green, so we won. But then after the competition, we usually had a choir for the whole school, so we were all mixed. So there was that one song that I sang, and I was the leader of the choir. Imagine. So I sang it well. The song lasted for I think 5 minutes.
Wow!
But it was nice. So I used to sing and then lead the choir, but again implement it with the dancing and I used to do so many good things when I was young.
Do you still sing?
No.
How come?
I don't know. Life happens
and takes your voice along with it. Oh dear.
Yeah.
So Stella, I know you're passionate about many causes.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things that you told me you do is blood donation drives.
Yes.
So I want us to talk about that before we talk about your supersonic legs that have carried you through many marathons in this country and beyond. But tell me about the blood donation drive. How did you start that?
Okay, so like I said, God's favorite daughter.
Oh boy.
So
us who are not favorites anyhow. Yes.
So I'm a Christian.
Yes.
So I pray a lot. You know, when you always wake up, you have to pray, and then bless the day, leave it to God to do the necessary. So there was 2019. This one time, I used to keep on praying, and I was like, God, please, what can I do for my community? So many things around, but please,
and by your community, you mean?
It's people surrounding me, actually.
Okay, so where you live?
Where I live, where I stay. So I was like, what can I do for my community? At least they don't only see me as Stella Gundi's daughter, but at least I have an impact on someone's life. Something good. That even if I'm no longer there, someone will remember me and say, hey, by the way, she did this for me, and something like that. So, but in 2019, actually, there were so many accidents around, and so many...
This is car accidents,
car accidents,
or vehicular accidents, yes.
Borders and what and what. So every time you would tune on the news and something like that, car accidents, each and every one. And then later on, they were like, we no longer have blood to save people. So many people were dying, not necessarily because they cannot save them, but because there's no blood. So I was like, I think I can do this. So I went in the morning, usually. There is a group of mine I run with and then do exercises with. So I went up there in the morning. I told them, by the way, guys, we usually want to do things here for our community. How about we do a blood donation? And we were like, okay, that is something good. When are we doing that? And then, good enough, we have so many people that do different things. So one of the gentlemen used to work for Nakaselo Blood Bank. So actually, I know someone there. If you organize your people in the place, they can just come and then people give blood and then we go. But then I was like, okay. So I went back and I think it is a good idea because everyone is saying, okay, we can do this. So I went back actually. And in the evening, it's as if now it was something that I'd decided on doing. It's as if something had caught me and God was like, Stella, I think this is now your calling. This is your purpose. Because that evening, almost every minute that passed, it was news for accidents. And then later on, people are saying there's no blood. Accident, there's no blood. Mothers are dying in hospital, there's no blood. Then later on Twitter, I checked, and it was the same thing with Kenya. I'm like, oh God, I think now we need to do this. So I went back in the morning. I told my people about it. They were like, okay. So the gentleman gave me the number. But when you're starting up something, of course, many will come and tell you, hey, we shall support you, we shall do this. But then when they see that now things are becoming serious, you're no longer into vibes, now you want to put it in action. Many are like, I think it is becoming too much. It is. I don't have time. But because I had decided to do it, I'm like, I'm going to push this through. Whatever happened, it happens. So many challenges came, but still I was like, I'm pushing this through. So that is how we started. Some people came and helped me. They were like, I know a place where you can host it from. But still, they required some money. And one thing that really, let me say, puts me down sometimes is like you are doing this out of your heart, but then people expect maybe you want to get something out of it. Maybe you're looking for money out of it. Everyone that you approach, apart from your friends that are saying that, okay, we shall come and donate blood, but starting from the place, from anywhere, maybe power, you want space, everyone, how much are you going to pay me? How much are you going? Yes. Because they have that mentality that you guys are doing this thing, maybe there is something.
A back donor, a back-end donor,
So that is how it started. So I said, okay, when are we doing this? My people asked me when we are doing this. I was like, since we're almost ending the year, how about we first do it? We do it every first week of December, the weekend. They wanted it to be like, it is something like you're saying now. You're celebrating what the life, that the whole year that you have been alive. You're well. So you go and bless some other people. Yes. That is like Christmas.
Yes, a Christmas gift to others,
Yeah. So that is how we started. I'm starting to... Okay. Okay.
It's okay. Stella said she needs a moment, and it's fine because, giving is highly emotive, is highly emotional, and it comes from a place of love, which is what it is. Philanthropy is love for humanity, and these causes you can't go away dry-eyed. So Stella, we understand. Stella, how many blood donation drives have you organized since the first one?
So far I've done 4, actually, because every year I'm doing. So I started in 2019, 2020, 21, 22.
Wow.
So 23, yes, I'm going to do it. Because I will tell you a story why now I am persistent with it. Because at one time I felt like, why am I doing this after all?
Mm-hmm.
But again, when I continued doing it, actually last year we did not do it in December. We did it in July, because the gentleman who I usually call that we are going to do a blood donation in Nakasilo called me and was like, Stella, I think this time around we cannot wait up to December because there is no blood.
Yes.
So you can imagine someone from up there, and then they say we really need this.
Yes.
And because of the COVID that came, schools are the ones that the students are the ones usually donate, and then kids were at home, so they needed that mobilization. And again, one of the stories that has inspired me to continue doing this, still last year there was when we done the blood donation. So after a month, a gentleman calls me and he was like, Stella, I have a friend who's in a hospital. He's badly off. They need blood, but the hospital is saying there's nowhere they're getting blood from.
Wow.
So I was able to call that gentleman still, and he was able to bring the blood on time. And then when I talked to the gentleman who needed the blood, he was like, please, thank you so much. I hope they don't take my blood because I still need it. You just don't know how it felt. It really meant that indeed I'm doing something sensible, and I'm doing something worth it. So so I'm going strong.
Oh wow!
It doesn't matter.
For those in Uganda, in Kampala, that can do watch out for the blood drive that Stella is running on her socials, and give blood. You don't even have to wait for Stella's drive. If you can go and give blood, it's a desperate need. So now let's turn to your legs. Your supersonic legs. So how did you start running? This woman runs, you people, runs. So how did you start running, and how did first the story of your running?
Okay, I think running and just exercise has always been in me, because apart from the singing, when I was in primary I used to run. Even in secondary I used to participate. I've just been a jolly person all along. And the fact that I grew up in an extended family, in my grandmother's home, let me say most of the people that we grew up with were guys. So we're, I think, 3 girls there. So you could not do Kwepena, only 3. So
Kwepena is dodgeball, and for our listeners who don't know what that is, it's dodgeball.
So we ended up doing the football, and then you do the basketball, you do the volleyball. So I'm just literally growing. So you run.
Wow.
Yeah, I've literally grown up doing those exercises. So this is just a continuation of
who you are, and of your childhood. Okay. And so then, how did you start then running for good causes? What was your first run for a cause?
Okay. Putting a cause to the things that I do, I think it dawned onto me last year, actually, because I've been doing all this climbing the mountains, and then I've been running around. But sometimes, especially when you're climbing mountain, when you come back, they're saying like, "Why are you doing this?" You know why? It is tiresome. It is a lot of work hiking.
It is.
And when you come back, you have a nice photo like, wow, I also want to go there. They don't know the challenges that you have gone through. So last year, when we did Mountain Kilimanjaro, me and my friends, I was blessed to the team that I was with. The first campaign we had, I was part of, is End Polio. The gentleman is called Cab Derek. He's in Rotaract, something like that. So we were creating awareness about polio. And I was like, oh, wow. So after all these crazy things that I do, I can do them because many people are like, I also want to join you running. I also want to join you hiking. So, yeah, I think, so when they come and hike or jog or run with you, you can tell them about what else you can do. You know, such activities usually bring a lot of people together. So yeah, that's how I started putting them to a cause, and to sum it up, I was doing a blood donation in December because we hiked.
That was last year, December.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we hiked Kilimanjaro in June, and then when we came back, I was like, okay, so I think I need. Maybe they are not hearing me well. Perhaps when I'm up there on the mountain, they can hear my voice well. And I send the message out there to everyone that is listening. And when you're
so what
hiking,
message did you send? So
still blood.
Okay. So on top of Kilimanjaro at Uhuru Peak, you were saying...
No, with Uhuru Peak,
yes.
we were raising awareness about end polio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we came back, I wanted to close off the year.
Yes.
So I went and hiked Sabino. So when I did the Sabino, that is when I was creating awareness for the blood donation, actually, yeah. So I think even my...
And please, listeners, the way she tells it here, so breathlessly, and it's not like that. I've climbed Muhabura in Kisoro, and I fear, mortal fear Savigno, because Muhabura is bad enough. It is steep from start to finish, and I hear Savigno is worse. So it is not a walk in the park. Please understand that Stella is a crazy woman in a nice way.
Yeah.
So anyhow, you climbed Savigno.
So we did Sabino, me and my friends still. They were like, okay, because I told them that I have this campaign that I'm running, that I want to do. And with the good thing with the mountain, you get to meet so many people, and from different countries as well. So why not tell them about what you do in a good way as well? So that is why I climb mountains. I keep on telling myself I want to stop, but...
Yes, no. Your legs keep taking you. Oh, man, you guys. You got the mountain bug.
Yeah.
It clearly bit you. So last year you climbed Savigno and talked about your blood donation drive, and did the blood donation as well. Yes, okay. We did it. So, yeah. So when we came back from Sabino, I did videos. I told them about blood. I was like, I think you don't hear me when I'm around here. How about I go to the top How
of
about
the
I
mountain?
elevate myself on that small mountain?
Yeah, and with Sabino, it has Rwanda, Congo, and Uganda.
Yes, you're able to see 3 countries at once.
Yeah, so when you stand there in 3 countries in the same minute, the message will sound better.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you've also done a campaign around children with autism. So tell us about that as well. Okay,
so that one about autism, actually, it also started in 2021. Still COVID peak. We were all home. Many people were looking for what to do. So I'm someone who wasn't so familiar with social media. I used to go it on a lot. But then again, this time around we were home. And then that is when Twitter Spaces came. So I found these people on social media, Twitter Spaces. They were talking about football. It used to be a good fun until something happens. That is a story for another day. So I joined them. So later on, the stories were interesting, of course. And then later on, the next day, again, they put on Spaces. It is conversing with people at different places, but you're there. You're no longer bored now. You have so many things. So one of the gentlemen was like, guys, there is someone who has come to my inbox. He's telling me she's collecting money to do a party for kids with autism.
To do a
party.
A party.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For kids with autism. There is a school there in Entebbe. And he was like, you guys, do you know anything about autism? I actually didn't know myself about autism. And then they asked many, like me, there were many who didn't know about it. Then they were like, okay, autism is this, autism this. And then there are some people that were fully detailed with the facts, and the others were doctors. So they told us about it still, but we wanted to see it for ourselves. How does it affect people? Because we're like, what is it? Me, I've never heard about that word. What is this? So when we started allowed people to move, we're like, the money was coming because
that's when the COVID lockdowns lifted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we decided to call anybody that has 10K. That is why usually our campaigns, we call them 10K for autism.
Yes.
So like,
and 10K for those, again, of our listeners who are not familiar with our currency. When we say 10K, we mean 10,000 shillings, which is probably about $3.
Yeah,
about $3, yes.
Like so we're like, anybody that has 10,000 or even more, you can donate to this lady. They go and make a party for these kids. So we're like, okay, people would send in their money. Anybody that would have any contribution, they send in. So when they lifted the COVID lockdown, we were like, okay, why don't we also go there and see what happens with these kids? Who are they? My goodness. When we went there, we were surprised, something like that. But we were also like down, Like it felt like we have been living with these people, with these kids, but we didn't know that this is the disease called autism. You know, autism, it is usually affects us the way we know it, Africans, in the African context, that it is witchcraft. And we usually see kids in very rich homes, and people say, that one I think, They gave us the daughter or son so that they become rich or something like that. And that is the perspective many people have about autism. So when the lady told us about the stories of these kids, and we also saw them ourselves, and then we spent the whole day there. People were crying. Because it is like we felt guilty because we have been living with these people in our communities, but we didn't know about it. And then there she is, she's taking care of so many kids, and then she tells you that even some other people just bring them here, that I'm going to come and pay school fees, but they don't come
They
back.
abandon them.
They just leave them there. They just abandon them. So, and we also realize that these kids, they don't need a lot of things. Just love, and then a few shelter things, and then medical services like that. It was too touching for us. So when we came back from that party, we're like, guys, I think this, instead of now coming here to talk about football, money and us and what, I think we just have to educate people about autism. And we really did it. And even us asking in our communities about people that know autism, even actually up to now, this is our third year doing this campaign, but still someone asks you what that means.
Yes.
So you can imagine. So that is where we got our starting point. Where I think we need to do this ourselves, because we shall not wait for our government to do it. Maybe it will find us there. And we have had so many campaigns around, but I've never heard of that of autism. Okay, if it is there, but it is not that known as much as the malarias, the polios, the hepatitis B. And I'm sure many people have them, but because of that those myths that are revolved around autism, they hide their kids actually a lot of them. And even big people, they do. And those people who are up there, who can make decisions to help out here, they're just quite... So it just rained on us. We're like, how about we do this ourselves? So now, me with my craziness...
Yes.
My foots have really suffered with me, but but good thing we aligned. So I'm like, okay, so now I told my viewer, I do all these crazy things, the running and what. So instead of me saying now I'm going to suffer running and hiking, let me make it fun. You know, when you're doing something from your heart, it becomes easier for you.
Yes, indeed.
You don't even go through a lot of hassles and then this and this. You feel it. You're doing it out of joy after all.
Yes.
So that is why I usually attach every crazy marathon, hike, running that I do to the campaigns that we do. So creating awareness with autism and blood donation, those are the things that we are going to speak and talk about everywhere.
Wow.
Yes.
That is amazing, Stella. And so just as we even wind down, so recently you did a 42K, 42-kilometer marathon. For both dry campaigns or for one? And you need to tell the story so that our listeners know where your legs took you.
So I just finished the Kasese Missouri Marathon, 42 kilometers. Actually,
was it your first 42K?
No, I've actually done 50K before.
Oh my goodness. Dear listeners who have not done 1K, please wake up tomorrow and start. Yes.
So I've done 50K before. So I was like, and I'm someone, especially when it comes to working out, exercising.
Yes.
I like the things that challenge me.
Yes,
and put me really to a test.
Yes.
So when I was in Kasese, and we have been running this campaign now. We call it 100 days. It is not that the rest of the days we're not doing it, but this one is like more intense.
And this is like the 100-day Activate challenge, yeah? Okay.
No. The 100 days of creating awareness of autism.
Oh, sorry. Oops. Okay. 100 days of creating awareness for autism.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these months, we started in July up to October. We are in those 100 days. So when this marathon came out, I was like, we are still in these 100 days of activism, creating awareness. And there are so many people that are going to be there in Kasese. Most of them, I'm very sure, they don't know about this.
Yes.
So how about I go do my 42K, and again I tell them about autism. Perhaps you never know. Someone will learn a few things, and then they also go and spread the word to their community. And, change. That is how we spread love from one another. So I did my 42K, and it was tiring because Kasese was hot. Yes. Guys, it was hot, very hot. But it didn't matter to me. Yes. Because, I was doing it out of joy, and I knew what I wanted. And I'm sure my message reached, because many people asked about it, and so many are still asking about autism, and I'm telling them the information that I know. And I'm sure they have also gone and researched about it. So we have educated more people, since there were many. So many have come to know about it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Stella, thank you. I'm amazed, and what I'm learning from you is, one, giving from a place of joy. Giving with love, but also when you see a need, meet the need, and rally those that you can around you, and educate. I think we often assume that people know these things, like you said, and people truly don't.
They don't.
And I think it's from educating. You just never know. You'll get that 1, 2, 3 people that you actually need to propel the campaign. So amazing. And it's not easy, right? You've told us how, rallying people to do the blood drive. People say, yes, we go. And then you look around and you're alone.
And then we recently finished, we were doing some community outreach still about autism in Jinja. We finished it at 29th last month. We did it. And people will always, when you, apart from you getting the time, you have to meet all those costs and because we are many, we are happy to have people who were supporting us, because it is not that, when we were doing these things. I remember one time when I was doing the second blood donation activity, I went to some of the office of one of our leaders, and he was like, which office are you going to stand for? So you can imagine. They
thought you were wanted to run for political office.
So we not only want to create love, but we also want to show people that we are not doing these things because we want money or for any gain or something like. Because it is us who are now giving.
Yes.
Not people giving us. And usually, since we are just starting off, and not so many people will come along and say, hi, maybe organization this, let me come and give you this kind of donation. Of course, they will be skeptical about it because you're new.
Yes.
And then they will think maybe you want to just make money out of them. So we usually do it our own selves. So I'm blessed to have so many friends that, we usually come together and we're like, okay, so this one say, I have this money, I have this money, I have this money. So you come up and then we do something great for the people.
Yes.
And I have that feeling, usually I tell people, when someone tells you that, thank you, God bless you, it's better than all the money they can give you, because that one will take you a long way.
Yes,
kind of generosity. Yeah, giving back.
Yeah. Wow. So as we end this podcast, Stella, what is your one word for the person who thinks, I know there's a need in my community, but it's hard. How do I start? What would you tell them?
Okay. One thing I would say, you just start with what you have. Just start with what you have. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, it is going to be hard for you. But once you feel like that is something, that is your purpose, that is what God has ordained you to do, just go with it. Other things will come along the way. Because when I was doing the blood, the first time when we did the blood, 28 people came and gave us blood. The next year, 38 came. The next year, 50 came. Last year, 68 came. So the numbers keep. It is growing. So just hang in there. So many challenges are going to come, but don't give up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and that's a good place to end. Don't give up.
Yes.
Just start.
Yes.
If your heart is beating for that cause, do it. We celebrate you, Stella. Thank you. So she's done a 42-kilometer marathon. She's done 50 kilometers running. I'm sure the next time we host her, she'll have done 100. I am sure. Stella, thank you so much for being our guest. Thank you, our listeners, for listening to us. And tune in next Thursday when we bring you another guest, another person to tell us their story of generous movement. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.